Burkina Faso's $88 million gold deal with Russia explained, a new chapter in Africa's geopolitical realignment. By Global South Insight, May 2025. Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, in a bold move that's rattling Western diplomats and thrilling Pan-African strategists, Burkina Faso has inked a landmark $88 million gold for infrastructure agreement with Russia, signaling a deepening shift in the country's foreign policy and economic alliances. The deal, signed during a surprise visit by Russian trade envoys to Ouagadougou, marks one of the most substantial mineral-based agreements between Russia and a sub-Saharan African nation since the Cold War. And for Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso's military leader, it's a calculated declaration: Africa is open for business, but not on Western terms. What's in the deal? Under the agreement, Burkina Faso will deliver 15 tons of refined gold over 24 months to Russian trade banks. In return, Russia will build critical infrastructure, including a new national railway line linking key mining areas to ports in neighboring Togo, 2 solar power plants to improve rural electrification, a state-of-the-art military hospital and logistics base near Ouagadougou. Additionally, Russian mining firms will gain partial stakeholdings in select gold extraction sites, with revenue-sharing terms favorable to Burkina Faso, a model that Traoré's government says is more mutualist than previous Western contracts. Why gold? Why now? Burkina Faso is Africa's 4th largest gold producer, yet it remains one of the continent's poorest nations. Previous deals with French and Canadian mining firms have been criticized for exporting profits while leaving communities impoverished. By trading directly in gold, Traoré's government is sidestepping the Western-dominated financial system, particularly the CFA franc and institutions like the IMF and World Bank. Greater than, gold is our currency of sovereignty, said Minister of Mines Simon Compaoré. And with it, we will build our future, on our terms. Russia's Africa strategy. Russia has been quietly expanding its influence across Africa through strategic mineral deals, arms exports, and anti-Western diplomacy. From Sudan to Mali, Moscow is offering military and economic partnerships without the political strings typically attached to Western aid. The Burkina Faso deal is seen as a major win for Moscow, as it increases Russian access to African gold reserves, enhances its geopolitical leverage in West Africa, strengthens an emerging anti-Western bloc in the Sahel. Russian state media hailed the agreement as a model of post-colonial cooperation. Western backlash brewing. The EU and US have already voiced concern. A spokesperson for the US State Department warned that opaque resource deals with authoritarian states often end in debt traps and diminished democracy. But in Ouagadougou, the mood is defiant. Greater than, where was the West when our villages had no electricity? Asked one protester at a pro-government rally. Now that we have partners who treat us with respect, they cry foul. The bigger picture. Africa's economic pivot. Burkina Faso's deal is not an isolated incident. Across Africa, countries are reassessing their traditional ties and forging new alliances. Mali and Niger are strengthening energy and mining deals with China and Turkey. Guinea is finalizing a bauxite for roads deal with the UAE. Zimbabwe recently introduced a gold-backed digital currency to bypass sanctions. These moves point to a growing desire among African nations to monetize their resources independently, avoid exploitative contracts, and escape Western financial dependency. What this means for the future. For Burkina Faso, this $88 million deal is more than an economic agreement. It's a symbol of self-determination, a challenge to old power structures, and a potential model for resource nationalism across Africa. Whether it brings prosperity or new challenges remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the gold beneath Africa's soil is now at the center of a geopolitical revolution, and this time, African leaders want to write the rules.